Okay, great. Okay, so magandang araw sa inyong lahat. So sa ating mga kasama from the United States, so for all of those who are in the United States, so good morning to all of you. And for us here in the Philippines, magandang gabi sa ating lahat. So I'm sure na it's a Saturday night here in the Philippines, pero you chose to stay with us. You chose to join us in this wonderful webinar, and we're very, very grateful for that, and we'll make sure that it will be worth your while. So my name is Romar Vier Balanon. I'm a registered nurse by profession, and at the same time I'm actually working as a digital marketing manager for a Singaporean client. Now, at the same time, actually, nagsiset aside po ako ng oras for Asea. So, ano po ba itong Aseang ito? Ano po ba ito? Ito po ba ay health supplement? Ito po ba ay pinapahid? Ito po ba ay iniinom? Ito po, malalaman natin lahat ngayon. And it's going to be very exciting because this is one of the youngest sciences out there. And we're going to make it as simple as possible. Now, siguro nagtataka kayo, nurse ka pala, bakit napunta ka sa mundo ng alternative medicine? Why are you bothering? Why are you even, investing time in something that's not within the scope of traditional medicine, within conventional medicine? Now, malalaman po ninyo mamaya na sometimes dumadating po tayo sa panahon na we're looking for solutions. And most of the time, yung mga naibibigay po sa atin na yung mga traditional, yung mga conventional, minsan okay siya pero we're still looking for more. We want to do more, not just for ourselves, but also for the people that we value. And that's precisely why we were able to see and we were able to encounter Asea. So, hindi ko na po ito papatagalin. So, I'm going to introduce our very first speaker for today. She's actually an employee, a provincial employee in San Fernando City, La Union. She happens to be my sister, so I'm going to be biased if I say she's amazing, pero you'll have to deal with it. But she is. She's very amazing in such a way na, she's juggling a lot of things. So aside from being a mother, being a loving wife, being an excellent performer at work, she's also the person who was able to see kung gaano kakaiba ang epekto ng Asea sa lola po namin, who is already 84 years old. So, hindi ko na po isa-spoil yung details. I'll let her talk about it even more, and it's going to be filled with heart, I can assure you. So, once again, let me introduce to you Miss Abigail Sibayan.
All right, thank you so much, Romar, for such a very humbling introduction. And totoo nga po yung nasabi po ng aking kapatid, we're actually looking for ways, for means, para po mapabuti po yung kalagayan ng aming lola. And let me start by saying po that we are welcoming each and every one of you to the Asea Breakthrough and Opportunity this morning, this afternoon, tonight, wherever you may be in the world. And we wanted to start by being truthful. And that's by saying na yung mga statements po na nasasabihin ko, have not actually been evaluated by US FDA and Philippine FDA, because the product mentioned are not actually intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Nonetheless, we have two amazing products. We have Asea Redox Supplement, the one in the bottle, that's cellular health from the inside out. And of course, yung bagong itsura po ng Renew 28, that's cellular health from the outside in. Though magkaiba po sila, same technology po ang nagko-cover sa kanila. And of course, let's answer the following questions po. Ano nga ba ito? Anong nagagawa nito? At bakit po kailangan ito? We can all agree that the body has the innate capacity to heal itself. Bakit po? There are times, lalong-lalo na po sa mga bata, kapag nilagnat po yan, itutulog lang po konti, maya-maya okay na po. At the same time, tayo rin po, na mga mothers, we also have that innate capacity po to heal ourselves. Kasi kung kagaya niyo po ako, hindi ako mahilig uminom basta-basta ng kung anong mang gamot or kung ano pa mang supplement. Pero we make sure po na talagang nakaka-recover din tayo kahit papaano. So we can all agree nga po ulit na ito pong ating katawan can actually heal itself. Bakit? Our cells make up tissues, the tissues make up the organs make up the systems, and the different systems make up the human body. But still, hindi po nito nasagot yung ating tanong na ano nga ba ito? So ito po, if our cells are damaged, yung send po niyang signal or communication for repair or destruction ay hindi po maayos. It's like having a cell phone po. If I wanted to call my brother who is in Las Piñas right now at wala po akong signal, hindi ko po siya makontak. Hindi po kami magkakausap. That's the same thing po about redox. That's the same thing po about what we are actually talking about now, the redox molecules found in Asea. Wherein ito po, yung pong medium or yung mismong signal po, yung communication po na makakatulong po sa paggaling po or sa better communication po ng ating cells. Bakit? Ganito po yan. Although we have po redox molecules inside our body, habang tumatanda po tayo, pansinin po natin, kumukonti po ng kumukonti yung redox molecules. Though nakaka-produce po yung katawan natin, as we age po, kumukonti po yan. And it can be proven po na kapag bata ka, mas madali kang gumaling from any sickness or halimbawa yung kanina is from lagnat. As you age po, medyo nahihirapan na po yung ating katawan. And of course, ang Asea redox molecules po is actually based from two materials po. That is the salt and water po na nakikita po natin. And it is actually made in an FDA-approved facility and NSF approved din po yung ating facility that we have now. And what's really good about this is kung meron po tayong kapamilya or mga kaibigan from the States, alam po natin kung gaano po ka-tedious yung process in actually coming up or getting these certifications. So ito po yung tinatawag natin na process. Hindi po siya basta yung tubig alat lang or tubig sa dagat lang. It is actually comprised of the 3 steps na nakikita niyo po sa screen nyo now, which is yung malinis po na salt water is actually broken down into free-floating atoms po. And these are actually restructured po to become stabilized redox signaling molecules. Again, ano po ba ang nagagawa ng Asea redox cell signaling supplement? Kung okay pa po ang ating cells, ibig sabihin pwede pang ma-repair, then the Asea or the redox molecules in Asea will actually help po yung ating katawan to repair po yung cells natin. At the same time, kung medyo hindi na po maganda yung estado po ng ating cell, it will be repaired po. It will be destroyed and at the same time, it will be repaired or it will be mapapalitan na po siya. Ganun po yung kayang-kayang gawin po ng redox sa ating katawan. And in a nutshell, ano nga po ba yung nagagawa ng redox signaling molecules? It can actually protect, detect, repair, and replace po yung ating cells. Dito po sa picture na ito, we can actually see the workers and of course the engineer. Let's take into account po, sa isang city po, or just like our body, yung workers po, magaling po yung mga yan. They are skilled to construct buildings, roads, whatever you can imagine, they can actually do. But what's the importance of having an engineer? Yung engineer po, yung magtuturo kung ano po ba yung dapat nilang gawin. Ganyan din po ang redox molecules sa ating katawan. We can have all the beautiful things in the world taking in our body, pero kung hindi po yan nadedetect ng maigi ng ating katawan through the redox molecules, hindi po yan ma-absorb ng maigi ng ating katawan. And again, ang nutrients and minerals are like construction materials. Parang po sa bahay yan. Kapag yung semento po, yung hollow blocks, ilalagay mo na lang ba sa bahay? No. Yan po ay aayusin pa po through the redox signaling molecules or yung leader po na meron sila. So in this case, yung ating mga vitamins, the juices, the food that we take in, aaralin pa po yan actually ng katawan natin on how we can actually utilize it. What redox molecules actually does is tinutulungan po niya kung paano po ba ito matitake in ng ating katawan. And of course, this is our favorite part. Kasi kami po ng aking mga kapatid, at the same time, the whole of my family have been searching. Kasi although we have family doctors and doctor friends and nurses at the same time, tayo po yung tipo ng mga tao, because our Filipinos are really family-oriented, hindi po tayo nakakampante sa sinasabi nila na hanggang dyan na lang. We look for alternatives. And this is what really attracted us the most. The patented process or the patented product po, the patented technology that we can actually find with redox. Why? First po, ang redox molecules po, it's native to the body. But then, ang nagawa po ng Asea, it was able to create po redox molecules outside the body. Second, ang cells po natin can actually create po in itself, since it is native to the body, ng sarili niyang redox molecules. Kaso ang nangyari po, pag hindi po nagagamit yan ng katawan, bumabalik po yan, nawawala na po. Ang ginawa po ng Asea, in 1 to 2 years time, basta sealed po yung ating product, is it can be useful and it can still be the redox molecules that we all need. And third po, we are the only company, tayo lang po ang may redox signaling molecules all over the world. Alright. So kagaya po nung na-mention ko kanina, besides the patents po, meron po tayong scientific validation. We can find hardbound books, we can search via Google, we can see it already sa PubMed, and everywhere po. And ang nakakatuwa po nito, you can only find this hardbound book, especially Redox Life. It's actually, yung price po ng book is actually appreciating. So saan ka makakakita ng ganung klaseng technology, ng ganung klaseng insight po, na talaga namang talagang inaaral na ng buong mundo. And of course, ang Asea po is Bioagilitics certified. That's a third-party verifier po, saying that there actually is redox inside the bottle. So again, anong nagagawa nito? It turns on po yung 5 genetic pathways sa tinatawag. Ito po, meron po ulit tayong third-party verifier, Naturette Laboratories po, and it actually boosts po yung immune system. Ito po yung 5 major findings po niya about Asea. And of course, yung sa pag-enhance po niya ng inflammatory response. That is actually why it is considered an athletic breakthrough. Tama po yung narinig niyo. It's an athletic breakthrough because even athletes use Asea. And of course, yung sa cardiovascular elasticity, also yung digestive function, hindi lang po siya yung merely panunaw, but it's more on absorption. And of course, hormone modulation po, which I'm gonna show you in a little while. So bakit ko kailangan ito? Our cells are breaking down. Everybody is aging. It's because of yung UV radiation. Even though we're at home, hindi po natin maiiwasan yan. And of course, yung stress po, emotional stress, stress from anything, anywhere around you. And of course, the inevitable aging, kagaya ng nabanggit ko kanina. And of course, kapag may sakit po tayo, nag-breakdown po talaga ang ating mga cells. Okay, kadalasan na ginagawa natin, bumibili tayo ng over-the-counter meds. Nagsa-self-medicate tayo, and that's very dangerous. But the good thing with Asea is we are actually working hand in hand with the medical practitioners. Kasi pag yan po na i-prescribe sa inyo, then that's well and good. But this is the catch. Ang Asea po can actually help address na po yung root cause po ng problem natin. And in a little while, nakakatuwa po, makikita niyo po yung development sa lola namin because she never stopped. We never stopped letting her drink her maintenance meds. while taking Asea at magugulat po kayo sa magandang effect nito sa kanya. Again, tandaan po natin, Asea can already help address po yung root cause ng problems and not merely symptoms. Again, bakit ko kailangan ito? Here's a picture of our family and also our extended family. For now, not most of us probably has prioritized health kasi laging iniisip, most probably is may mga ibang needs, may mga ibang pangangailangan yung family and sa pamilya rin po. But let us always think po, the new normal already sets po yung standard natin that the peace of mind can never be replaced by any amount of money. So kahit malayo po ako sa aking mga kapatid, so ano po, I actually miss them a lot, pero I don't worry that much because umiinom din kasi sila ng Asea eh. And at the same time, I am telling them also na yun nga po, we're okay here because we also have Asea. So yun na yung common language namin sa family. And we're here to share it to even more people and never stop. So again, ano nga ba ang Asea Redox Cell Signaling Supplement? There. Nasagot na po natin siya. Anong nagagawa nito? It turns on po yung 5 genetic pathways po natin. And bakit ko kailangan ito? Let's all accept po, our cells are breaking down. Again, ang ganda po. As in, this is really amazing. And I must say that this is the single greatest science health breakthrough po in our lifetime. So you must commit po to take it at least 3 to 6 months to get the desired results. Kapag uminom ka, meron naman ng changes na makikita sa body. But if you want to get the desired results, give it at least 3 to 6 months po. Why? Because 15 people po get immediate results in 1 week. And 85 naman po need more time. Bakit po? It took several years naman po kasi. Now, we actually abused our body already. So it takes time for it to be repaired or replaced. And ito naman po, yung isa pa pong product natin, ito po yung pinapahid, Renew the Miracle Gel. Ito po yung bago niyang itsura actually at nakaka-excite po na makapunta na rin po, makarating na rin po itong bagong Renew 28 dito sa Philippines. Nevertheless, ito po yung nakakatuwa po. Bakit siya tinawag na the Miracle Gel? First is it reduces wrinkles and cellulite appearance. Yung sa mga ano po, mga vanidosa, it's really very helpful. And it suits skin from minor irritants. So halimbawa po may mosquito bite or kung ano pa man po yan, it can actually help po. And eases muscle discomfort from exercise. Meron po tayong tinatawag na 3 applications in 5 minutes. And ito po, never po pong nag-fail sa aking mga office mates. Because yun nga po, they have experienced it sa not only from muscle discomfort from exercise, but any form of discomfort pa po actually. They have experienced the miracle po, the soothing effect po ng Asea found in Renew 28. And of course, it's an all-in-one product. Bakit? Hindi lang po siya pang beauty, it's also for athletic performance, and of course, for wellness. And Renew 28 because it gives you dramatic results in 28 days. So there you have it po. Meron din po siyang mga independent studies. We have received a 5-star guarantee po from Dermatest and of course Stephen's Excellence in Research po, and they have seen in just 4 weeks visible improvement po in the surface skin cell renewal, 16%, skin texture, skin smoothness, skin elasticity, and of course na-lessen po yung appearance ng cellulite. So let me share po. First things first, sa pamilya po muna. Malapit sa aking puso, syempre, ang aking ading, younger brother po ang ibig sabihin, no? That's an Ilocano term, and he has recurring acne and uneven skin tone. Hindi naman po siya vain, pero syempre, yung ano po natin is front-facing po, yung kanyang full-time job now. So, he decided to take Asea and use Renew, that's December 4 last year. This is how he looked like. And then, napansin ng mga office mates niya na parang nag-glow na siya. And this is him after a month. So you can see really visible results. It's really nakakatuwa po. Same lighting, same everything. And I'm really, really happy for the transformation that he has because that's just the first sa skin po. Again, next naman po is sa lola namin. She is actually yung nauna po namin wife, of course. She's 84 years old. She just turned 84 noong July. And ang major problem po niya is yung chronic po na illness niya, which is having high blood sugar. She is also hypertensive and asthmatic. Pero ito po talaga yung high blood sugar niya, yung talagang tinututukan pa po namin until now because she's supposed to have dialysis before, but we resorted that this shouldn't happen. Let me just share her slides. Okay. All right. So let me just share her whole story because it actually started in February this year. Kasi po ang nangyari, she started drinking Asea November of last year. That's the time when we actually engaged po. We actually decided in engaging with Asea for her. And ang nangyari po kasi nakikipag-unahan na siya sa gawaing bahay. And nagkataon po, nung time na yon is gusto niya magwalis sa labas ng bahay. Alam naman po natin, kapag nagkakaedad po ang tao, medyo gusto pa rin nila na very active sila. And this is what happened, na tumba siya, and yun nga po, nagkaroon ng bugbog sa face niya, and na-fracture po yung kanyang left arm. And come February 18, that's after 6 days, makita po natin yung difference po nung unang itsura po sa mukha niya sa pangalawa na po ngayon na picture. And of course, come February 23 na po, hindi naman po namamaga yung kamay niya. And at the same time, makikita po natin na nalilesen na po yung scar sa face niya. And of course, this is March 9. This is actually taken by Romar. A picture he actually took na hindi na siya makapaniwala na natumba si Lola noon or na-fracture because wala ka na po makikita na sign na ano po yung mukha niya, na natamaan din. And of course, this is her March 29. Naka-quarantine na po tayo lahat nandito. And actually all over the world. And siya mismo yung nag-alis ng cast sa kamay niya. Bakit niya inalis yung cast? Kasi po, according to her, she's already well. And we're supposed to go back sa kanyang ortho, but then yun nga po, yung nangyari, actually didn't permit us to. So makita po natin yung part na yan, medyo makatira po yan, sabi niya. So after ilang days lang po, nawala rin po. It's because of the constant use of Asea and of course, yung pagpahid po ng rin really comes handy. And of course, hindi po tayo naniniwala dun sa physical lang. We have to make sure po na she is actually getting well. So, nung pwede na pong makalabas, that's July 2, we were able to go back po sa kanyang doctor and we were able to get the results that we actually wanted. Bakit po? Kasi talagang gumanda po yung kanyang results starting with HbA1c and the rest po. Why? Sa totoo lang po, nagulat po yung doctor niya when he actually saw this. Dahil sa lahat po ng kanyang mga patients, and that includes yung younger ones, si Lola lang po. Si Mama Mercy lang po ang may magandang lab results. And what he even did, na-lessen na po yung kanyang maintenance meds, and of course, yung kanyang insulin po, yung injection po niya, from 18, it's down to 15. And of course, ito po yung isang talagang time na talagang nag-worry kami. Yan po yung itsura niya nung 82nd birthday. She's supposed to have dialysis, pero hindi po kami pumayag. And we are very thankful po na ito na siya noong 83 and 84. Parang pabaliktad po. And we're forever grateful po sa Asea and to people like you po, like Uncle Ed, who shared this to the world. Because if not, it is possible po na we might not have our grandma with us already. And of course, ito naman po, after makita natin sa health po, sa health concern or sa health situation on how Asea and Renew address this, let's move on naman po sa athletic performance. And I'd like to present you po, nakakatuwa po, ang isang 73-year-old female in the name of Dexter Yeats, who is an Ironman triathlete. Pag triathlete po pala, 3 po yung ginagawa, kaya nga triathlete. Anyway, yan po ay swimming, biking, and running. And I'm gonna share with you po what she actually did. I'm just gonna share my computer sound so you can hear her well. Right from her, here you go.
I'm Dexter Yates, 73 years old, and I do Ironman triathlons. I started taking Asea Redox in 2015 after I was feeling that I was maybe not going to be able to compete in the sport that I loved. And I was told about Asea and started taking it. And within a month and a half, the very next race I did, I won my age group and qualified for a world championship. That convinced me there's something magical in this. I've been getting stronger and stronger ever since. It turns out it's not magic, it's actually science. It's proven, which is awesome. I love Asea Redox because of my recovery. It has changed and been improved immensely since I have been on the product. In my sport, I have to exercise maybe 6-8 hours a day, and my races last for maybe 16, 17 hours. Being able to recover after a workout is essential for me to be able to get out and train again the following day. Since starting Asea Redox, I feel that it has helped me so much that I cannot even imagine not taking it. I know that I'll be taking it for the rest of my life. Asea Redox means recovery.
All right, that's so amazing. We can just imagine po, at their age po, 73 and 84, they're having the desired results and even more than they hoped for. How much more po sa atin? In my case, I'm also taking it. Bakit po? I'm a breadwinner and I wanted to make sure po na nothing wrong will happen to me. Of course, I wanted to be with my family longer and healthier. And of course, please go back to the person who invited you para po ma-invite po kayo sa ating Asea Healthy Self Facebook page po for you to learn more po about the amazing testimonies and experiences of people all over the world who have already embraced Asea in their lives. And the world is taking notice already about this 100% safe, natural, and non-toxic breakthrough found in Asea and Renew 28. Sa left po ng ating screen, we can see yung university studies po. Kaunti pa lang po yan actually, just naming a few. And of course, yung ating mga organizations who actually eyed Asea and proved the science behind it. And again, we have already shared the gift of information to each and every one of you. Nasa inyo po ang desisyon. If you move, then there's change. If there's no movement, then it will be the same. But I know in your heart, you joining us today, this afternoon, and tonight already means that you are one with us to share the greatest science breakthrough of our lifetime. Again, this is Abigail Sibayan. Thank you everyone for listening.
All right. So thank you very much again, Miss Abigail Sibayan. Akala ko kanina iiyak na siya. Pinagpipigil na din ako na, iiyak na siya. So, kasi ano to dito, so this is not just a health journey, but this is a personal journey. And I believe that once you try it, once you see the effects, once you see the impact, not just to health, but also in other aspects of your life, makikita ninyo kung bakit ganun na lang kaganda. So, I probably, hindi ko na ulitin yung buong presentation kasi it's made very simple, but I'll just stress a few points. Kumbaga, ano ba yung mga pinaka-paborito natin dito? So imagine, it just started with salt and water, and then through patented process, it became redox signaling molecules, something that was impossible before. Ngayon nagagawa na siya outside the body. And this is something na hindi lang Asea ang nag-claim. Now, you saw in the last few slides a while ago na there are companies that already verified, kumbaga, the company itself, the product itself, that it really has redox signaling molecules. At napag-usapan na po natin kanina what it can do to us. And it's a continuous science, it's a continuous study, so much that, you know, universities and other institutes are researching it further. Now, if I may share before we go to the next speaker, I'm also a skeptic. I started as a skeptic, really, when it comes to alternative health health treatments or health interventions. So much na hindi pa ako sold nung unang time na we decided to share the news about Asea. So I did a test run. So being a nurse, so kumbaga may kakilala po kasi akong nurse, may kilala akong doctor rather sa Makati. So he is a specialist when it comes to integrative medicine. What that means is he's also prescribing, aside from the usual medication, he's prescribing supplements, alternative treatments. Now, when I talked to him about Asea, wala pa po akong sinasabi. I wasn't saying anything yet. I just said, so do you know anything about Asea, about redox signaling molecules? And you know what he said? He immediately stopped me and said, oh yeah, I'm very familiar with that. My patients, most of them are actually elderly. They're using it and I recommend it. I'm not asking them to stop it because I see great results. It's a continuous study. It's just that I'm not in the business per se. I'm not associated with Asea, but I would recommend Asea to those who would need the benefits. So, kumbaga, that's validation enough. So, di ba, kumbaga, naghahanap tayo ng validation from doctors. And here is not just a doctor. He's a specialist who gave that validation, who gave that assurance that it's 100% safe, it's non-toxic, and you have all studies to prove that it really works. If it works for others, it will work for you. Now, I'm very excited po talaga about this breakthrough. And speaking of breakthrough, if this is a breakthrough when it comes to health, imagine what kind of breakthrough it will be when it comes to your financial wealth as well. Now, kumbaga, kami po ng ate ko, kami po ni Ate Abigail, we're more, kumbaga, we're doing that, we're doing the business side, pero we're more in tune with the health side. Now, our next speaker is someone who has mastered both. And as a matter of fact, I would say he's the person we go to when it comes to the business side because he's very passionate about it. He has lots of stories about it that you'd be inspired and you'd be, you know, you'd think twice to think, why am I stopping myself from, you know, from investing myself in this technology? And we endearingly call him uncle because that's what he is to us. He's family. That's what we are. That is what he is. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Uncle Ed Wings.
Well, good morning, Romar. Good evening. Good morning. It's good evening, I guess, to you in the Philippines. But I've learned that every meeting there starts with a good morning. So it is morning for me on the East Coast of the United States here. Let me just make sure that I've got. In fact, let me just share my screen so I can get to the next part of what we want to talk about. And let's see here. Bear with me. I'm not as technically quick as our Filipino young folks are. Okay, let me see. Let me get to view. Full screen. How's that? Can you see that?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, good. Let me find my little clicker here now so I can advance the slides. It's somewhere here. All right. Well, it's great to be with you this morning, and I appreciate so much the thorough presentation that Abby always gives, and of course Romar. You guys have such a great understanding of what Asea is as a product, and we certainly are thrilled to have you part of our extended Asea family. Just to make that connection, I'm drinking coffee this morning from my Starbucks cup from Manila. This has been my favorite mug for probably 15 years. And so it's great to always connect with my Filipino family, I call you guys. And thank you for the designation as uncle. That makes me feel like I'm not sure if it makes me feel old, but it makes me feel like I'm family. So I appreciate that. You know, just to talk about this aspect of Asea for a few minutes, I love just the simple truth of the fact that every coin has two sides. Oftentimes when we have an athletic event, here in the United States anyway, when we play football, we flip a coin. And, you know, one team is chosen heads, the other one chosen tails. And whichever one comes up, that team gets to choose whether they want the ball first or they have the other team get the ball first. But it's two sides of the coin. And with Asea, it's no different. We have two sides to the coin here. One side is a great product. It's an amazing product. Abby's described that. You've heard the results of it. That's just one example out of many, many thousands of product examples around the world. That's a powerful, powerful reason to look at Asea, is because of what the product is. The flip side of the coin has to do with the way the product is made available in the marketplace. Our founders had a choice when they brought this product to market as to how they were going to get it out in the marketplace. And of course, we're going to talk about that choice. But because they made the choice they did, it represents an opportunity for all of you and for all of us. I love the fact that the opportunity side of the Asea picture addresses one of the pillars of your health that is just as important as any other pillar. If you think about a building that has multiple pillars, we like to talk about health as having your overall health having 5 pillars, and they're all important. If any one of them is lacking, the building is lacking in integrity or lacking in strength and may not survive an earthquake or a storm. One of those pillars, of course, is physical health. That's absolutely essential. But another pillar is mental health. That's not just your body, that's your mind. Another pillar is your family health. Another pillar is the health of your community, your community health. And one of the pillars, one of those 5, is financial health. Now, some of us talk about spiritual health being another pillar, but to me, that's the center of the whole. That's the center of the whole thing. But financial health is just as important, because think about it. If your financial health suffers or takes a hit, can that create stress and affect your mental health? Can it create physical problems and affect your physical health? Certainly stress contributes to all kinds of physical problems. Can you help your family the way you would like to if the financial pillar is weak? No. Can you be a force for good in your community if your financial pillar is weak? Or can you be more of a force for good if your financial pillar is strong? So they're all interconnected. So the breakthrough side of this conversation addresses the financial pillar. And so let's talk about that for just a few minutes. Anytime you have a breakthrough, and a breakthrough is simply something that's new, something that's never been done before, something that is a new way of doing things. It brings about new products, new technology, new services. Anytime there is a breakthrough, there's opportunity associated with it. Now, in our case, we have a product that literally has no competition. It has no copycats. That is a huge breakthrough. So let's talk about what that means for you and I. Let me get here, make sure I'm All right. So the question that needs to be asked here as we start this conversation is, what are you personally looking for? There's a lot of different reasons to look at ASEA. There's certainly, some of you are preventive minded in the way you approach your health. I like to talk about that this way. I don't know how many of you have a car, or maybe if you've been around a long time, maybe you've had many cars. One of the things we talk about, seems like among guys, especially here in the US, is the first car that we ever had. And sometimes that's a very special conversation. For me, my first car I ever had was a really nice cherry red, black leather interior, 1950 Chevy. Yes, I would still love to have that car today. Most of us would love to go back and have the first car we ever had and fix it up, and it would just be a great reminder of that time in our life when we began to drive. But what if you were told when you got your first car that this is the only car you're ever going to have? This car is going to have to take you the entire journey of your driving life. This is the vehicle. You're not going to get another one. Think about that. What if that was true? How important would it be to take good care of that car and to practice preventive maintenance? Not just waiting for problems to creep up and then go about and fix them, but to address problems before you even have them. That's called preventive maintenance. Aviation understands preventive maintenance because you can't pull an airplane over at 10, 20, 30,000 feet and fix a part that's gone wrong. Preventive maintenance is an important thing. So if you had that one car and it had to take your entire journey, trust me, you would be focused on preventive maintenance. Now, here's the point. When you entered into this journey called life, you were given one vehicle, your body. And it has to last you the entire journey. You don't get another one. Yeah, science has figured out how to replace a few parts here and there. But basically, that vehicle has to last you your entire journey, from the beginning to the end. Now, some people go through life and treat their vehicle like their body, like they want to wait for the check engine lights to come on. Oh, then something's happening. Something's going on. Let's go check it out. Other people think preventatively, and you don't want to have the check engine lights come on. You get routine service performed on your vehicle, and you practice preventive measures when it comes to your physical health. That is a valid reason to look at ASEA, is prevention. One doctor told me one time, may you never know what you prevent. That's a powerful, powerful principle. So if that's your reason for looking at ASEA, I compliment you for being a forward thinker, being a preventive-minded person, because the best thing that you could do preventatively for the vehicle that you have, that you live in, that you travel the world in, your body, is to incorporate redox signaling molecules into your daily regimen. Certainly there's a place for the vitamins, the antioxidants, the juices, the fruits, the whatever else, the vegetables, exercise are all part of it. But the addition of redox signaling molecules is a powerful, powerful measure preventatively. Got a great story in my own household about that. Some of you heard my wife Rebecca's story. So what are you looking for? Some people just want to address a health challenge. Now, Romar and Abby had a grandmother, had a health challenge. They wanted to see if she could get some benefit. You may know somebody that has a health challenge, or it might be you. That's a valid reason to look at this. Maybe you are an athlete. Maybe you're not going to ever perform at the level of Dexter Yates, who's 73 and running Ironman competitions. I don't even know if you know what an Ironman is. That's where you go swim a long distance. You get out of the water, and then you ride a bicycle for like 50 miles. And then you get off your bicycle and you run a marathon, which is 26 something miles. I don't really know what that is in kilometers, but it's a long ways. She's doing that at 73. Now, you may not have aspirations to do that, but somewhere between where she is and couch potato, we call it here, you're somewhere in between. This will help you perform better as the athlete at whatever level you are in terms of that. Now, on the business side, there's all kinds of different reasons to look at this. There are some people who just want to get the product at the best price. That's certainly valid. There are some people who want to earn a little bit of supplemental income, maybe enough to just pay for their product. That's perfectly valid. Some people are a little bit lacking in their finances in their household, and they would like to make up a little extra income. Maybe it's enough to pay a car payment, to buy gas, to help pay the rent, put food on the table, maybe help somebody that you know, maybe give a little bit more to your church, your charitable organization that you care about. Those are all valid reasons. Maybe some of you have had your jobs impacted by the current crisis that we've all kind of dealing with, or for whatever other reason, maybe your job has been impacted and your income is lacking. You've got more month than you have money. That's a valid reason to look at this. And there's always a few people, not many, but there are a few people who are big thinkers. I call them legacy thinkers, and they want to create legacy level income. What I mean by that is this is a business that you can develop, that you can literally leave to the people who come behind you and your family. You can leave this to them. If you're a big thinker, just go with me just for a second. What if you could take your current annual income and make that your monthly income? Okay, can you think that big? Can you stretch that big? What if you could do that? Let me ask you, if you could do that, how would that impact your life? What could you do that you can't now do? What could you buy that you can't buy now? Where could you go? Who could you help? And let me just tell you that if you're able to do that, I'm not talking about hypotheticals here. Not everybody's going to be able to do that, but it's being done. Many people have done that. Many people have been able to generate a level of income here that they never really thought possible, but it's just empowered them. Now, money's not, listen, I understand this about money. The Bible does not say that money's the root of all evil. It says the love of it is the root of all evil. So think about money in terms of a resource. It's simply a tool. Money in abundance in your hands is going to take on the nature and the values that you represent. If you're a good person, you're a good-hearted person, you've got integrity, it's going to do good things in your hands. If you're lacking all of those principles, money could be a destructive thing in your hands. It's not money, it's not the issue. It's you, it's your heart, it's your motivation. So my question to you as we talk about this is, what are you looking for? I can't dictate what that is for you, but you have to decide, what are you looking for? I can tell you that statistically, it's no different there than it is in our country or any place else. 7 out of 10 households need more money. 7 out of 10. Everybody can use more because it's, again, just a tool, it's a resource. But there's a difference sometimes between just what would be nice and what is needed. I can promise you that it's probably no different there. Most households need more money. This represents that. So again, breakthroughs create opportunity. All right, so I'm an old surfer. Long time since I've been on a surfboard. You've got surfing beaches there in the Philippines. I've seen them. But when it comes to surfing, I guess my question as it relates to our conversation is, do you want to get in on the end of the last wave? And these are great waves, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and exotic juices. They're all great. They're all valid, and they're still good. But they've kind of had their day in terms of being a new wave. Would you rather, now you can, I believe in all those, I still take a lot of those kinds of products. Or would you rather be in on the beginning of what we believe is going to be a great wave for the next 10, 20, 30 years, redox signaling molecules? Okay, that's a new wave. I can tell you that if you want to ride a wave, you want to be in on the leading edge of that wave. If you're waiting until the wave gets there, then you're probably going to be watching the heads of those that are riding it from behind. And that's not as fun as being on the wave. Again, a little bit about our technology. Asea has created a whole brand new category that's never existed before. Nobody's ever brought redox signaling molecules to the marketplace. May happen to be others at some point, but right now we're 11 years into this company's history, and we're the only players in the game. Third-party validated science, that's a big important thing. We have life-changing benefits. You've heard a little bit about those here today. Lots of patents, you've heard about that. No competition. All of this creates a tremendous financial opportunity. You know, the way this company was founded is an important part of the story. I won't go into the whole details of that, but we can give you a video. In fact, if you will go to amazingmolecules.com, maybe somebody, one of you can type that in the chat, amazingmolecules.com. Not only is there a brief presentation video there, but there's a link to the Genesis video. And I'd encourage you to go watch the Genesis video. And you're going to hear the story of these two gentlemen, Mr. Vertus Norton and his son Tyler. And you're going to hear about how when they developed this product, when they patented it and they figured out what it was, and they were ready to manufacture this, they approached the pharmaceutical world, which initially said, no, there's no way you've got redox molecules stabilized in a bottle. Yes, we do. No, you don't. Yes, we do. Here's some science. And finally, one big company looked at it and they validated it and they said, you really do have what you say you have. We're prepared to write you a check big enough that you don't need to talk to anybody else. They figured these guys are businessmen. They probably have somebody else coming in here next week to look at this. And so they wanted to buy it. And they were gonna offer a lot of money, could have helped a lot of people, but there were strings attached to the offer. And the strings were, shut it down today. Nobody else gets product. We take your science, we take your patents, we take all your technology, we take your inventory, we take your equipment, we own it all. You walk away. And that presented a dilemma for our founders because it was a lot of money. And had they been men that were motivated primarily just on how to make more money, how to get more money, you and I may have never had the chance to know about this technology. But because they were committed to make sure that this product got into the hands of humanity around the world, they said no to the money and yes to the people. And we're thankful today that they made that decision, because I asked the founder when I first heard the story from him directly 6 years ago, I said, Mr. Norton, what do you think would have happened had you taken their check? And he said, we were not sure, but we were not willing to take the risk that this product would never see the light of day. Man, that spoke a lot to me. And it should speak a lot to you today. These men were men of integrity, and they had enough commitment to right ethics and the right principles to say no to the money and no to the profits and yes to the people. So here we are today. I've had a great success story. We've been profitable since the first year. We own our own manufacturing facility. We don't outsource the production of our redox technology. We actually make that. I think we now have 21 distribution centers around the world. We're shipping to 33 countries today. Guess which one's the 33rd? It's the Philippines. You're the newest, not the last, just the newest. We've done well over $500 million in sales. In fact, we're on track not long before we have our first $1 billion year. And that'll be an exciting, I remember when we had our first $100 million year. And we've grown every year since then. And we will at some point in the near future hit our first $1 billion year. These are smart businessmen, and they've committed this product to the most motivated group of people around the world. And as we expand the marketplace and expand the reach, we'll have $1 billion a year. And so you get a choice today to be a part of making that happen, or to sit back and watch it happen and others benefit from it. We've grown every year, thousands of lives changed. How did we do that? We did it just through the simple methodology that's been around forever called network marketing. Now, network marketing formally as a business has not always existed, but as a concept, it's as old as people doing business with each other. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is what makes the business world go around. Now, I'm reading a book, actually, a business book, and I didn't realize that formal advertising, commercial advertising, really didn't even exist until the mid-1800s. Prior to that, it was always word of mouth. And it's still today, no matter how much you spend in advertising, word of mouth is the most powerful method of getting the word out about a product or a service. So network marketing has been around now for decades. Word of mouth, it capitalizes on word of mouth, which is what makes almost every other business function. I don't care if it's the movie industry, it's the books you read, the car you drive, where you go on vacation, where you get your hair done, where you get your makeup done, where you go out to eat for a restaurant. Those are all industries that are driven by word of mouth. If you own a restaurant, people better like your food. They better like the service. And no matter how much you spend in advertising, if people get sick eating at your restaurant, guess what? Word of mouth is going to work, but it'll put you out of business. It won't promote your business. So word of mouth is absolutely crucial to the success of almost any other business. Now, here's a comparison. Traditional companies have to figure out how to get their product to the customer. And they'll employ many, many different avenues of marketing and distribute and advertising to get their product distributed. And they'll spend typically more than half their entire revenue on marketing the product. That's factored into the cost of getting the product to the marketplace. Network marketing companies like Asea have to also figure out how to get their product to the end user. So they have a choice. Are they going to spend the money to buy radio and television and newspaper and all the conventional kind of advertising vehicles that exist out there, or can they just take it directly to the marketplace through people who use the product, people who care about the benefit that they get, the results that they get, and they share it? That's simply word of mouth. And again, that same amount of money is paid out in the distribution, but rather than pay it to the radio and the newspaper and the television, they pay it to you. So my question to you today is, would you rather they pay you or pay the radio station or the television station? I know what the answer is in our household. We would rather they pay us for our word of mouth and not just some advertising source. The benefits of network marketing are many. First of all, you get to be your own boss. You get to work from home. Nothing wrong with being an employee. We need lots of good employees. My hat's off to people who kind of run the restaurants and drive the travel industry and work in the government offices. I mean, we need all those people to do what they do. I'm just appealing to you today to the benefits of network marketing. If you have an entrepreneurial drive, if you kind of like to look in the mirror and see the boss, then you're going to love what this is about. And you may do that on a part-time basis in addition to your job. Most of us start network marketing like that. Get to work from home. You know, a lot of people have discovered in the last few months that they got to work from home. Well, guess what? We've known that all along. We work from home. I'm in my home office here today. My commute to get here, I had no traffic. Didn't have to breathe any exhaust fumes. Didn't have to burn any gas. I just had to take about 30 steps to get from my where I got up this morning to my office. So we love working from home. It gives us flexibility that, in fact, today, working from home simply means carrying your phone with you or carrying your laptop or your iPad or whatever with you. That's what working from home looks like today. So your home might be on the beach. It might be in the car. It might be wherever you happen to be connected. That's the beauty of this. Flexibility, time freedom. We love that aspect of this business. We control our schedule. We don't have to schedule whether or not we can attend like a granddaughter's softball game. We had one of those the other night. We don't have to schedule that around a work schedule. Rebecca used to have to do that as a nurse. Anytime we had a special Christmas program came up or something that was an opportunity, she would have to check the work schedule and see if she was off that day, or if she could trade a shift with someone and go ask a supervisor if she could make that change. Doesn't have to do that anymore. And I can tell you what, as much as Rebecca, loves the financial side of this, it's the freedom side of it that probably is the most appealing thing to her. Unlimited training and support. We just tell you quite honestly, you don't have to worry about whether or not you're going to have training and support in this business. You're in business for yourself here, but you're not in business by yourself. There's an extensive network of webinars, websites, things like this that we do every Saturday morning, Saturday evening. Multiple opportunities. We've got more opportunities throughout the day today. So a lot of training and support coming your way. And remind me, Romar, or Abby, before we wrap up today, to talk about the GoPro Recruiting Challenge, because we want to make sure people know about that today, because that's coming up this next. One of the greatest opportunities that we've had all year long for training and support is coming up this week, and we want to make sure you know about it. The income potential here, I'll just tell you this. I'll show you a graphic here of the compensation plan. First of all, let me just say, network marketing globally is thriving. Across the board, across the entire industry, over the last 7 or 8 months, we've seen tremendous growth. Yes, there's been a dark storm cloud for a lot of businesses because of what we've kind of gone through globally. But I can tell you, the network marketing world, it's been the silver lining of the cloud. And so we're not happy for the demise of other businesses, but we're thrilled by the fact that our industry has had tremendous growth during this season. And the network marketing industry is bigger than the movie industry. It's bigger than professional sports. It's huge and growing significantly. You get a chance to be a part of that if you embrace this side of the coin. All right, here's a quick look at Asea's compensation plan. We call it the 8 pillars that make it up. On the far left, of course, there's just the retail profit that you get when you buy a product at wholesale and sell it at retail. Then, as you can see, there's preferred customers, and then there's the fast start bonus. That's what you get when you bring new people on board and they get enrollment packs. And then there are other bonuses and commissions that come along. And I can tell you personally, I've experienced all of these. We on an ongoing basis experience them. They're real. And I'll just say it this way. There is an income level represented here The left side of this is basically, oh, by the way, we get paid every week, which is a great thing. Love getting paid every week. It's every Friday. It's every Saturday for you in the Philippines. The left side of this graph represents immediate to part-time income, and the right side would represent the full-time to unlimited income. And I'll just summarize the big picture of the compensation by saying it this way. There's an income level in this compensation plan that's the perfect match for your ambition level and your motivation level. I can't determine what that is for you. Only you can. But I can promise you that there's an income level here to match what you want out of this. You can be a big thinker, you can be a part-time thinker, a full-time thinker, and there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to that. Nobody's going to dictate to you what it ought to be for you. You get to tell us what you want it to be for you, and we get to come alongside and help you get what you want out of this. The simple principle here is that, and we learned this from the late Zig Ziglar, if we help enough people get what we want, what they want in life, we can have anything that we want. Think about that. If you help enough people get what they want, anything that you want, you can have. And that's just an absolute truth. Here's the powerful part about this. As you sit and look at this, you listen to this today, I know you're thinking of people, and you've had 2 or 3 names go through your mind, and you're going to have to be the one to reach out to them because, again, this is word of mouth. They don't know about Asea. They don't know that there's something that could help them physically, help them financially. They just don't know about this. They may be praying for an answer. They just don't know this exists. So they're going to need to hear about it from somebody. Why not you? So if you reach out to that person, here's what you don't know. You know them, but you don't know who they know. So if you reach out to tell somebody about this, they may reach out without your permission and tell somebody else. You don't know that person, and you don't know who they know. That person may get the kind of benefits that you know this product delivers and could spark the interest that this business sparks. They may reach out to people that you don't know. Probably will. And before long, you're going to have a communication network that begins to spread out from your influence to the multiplied influences of many, many more people. And you're going to find yourself over time having a global business with an entire distribution channel, perhaps in America, perhaps throughout Asia, perhaps throughout Europe. That's what can happen. We've seen it happen. I've only been actively involved with this company for a little over 6 years. And I didn't know most of the people that are part of our team. Some of the biggest leaders on my team, I did not know them. But I knew this person who knew that person who knew that person who told them. That's what can happen here. So just know that this is way bigger than just you sitting there in your home, your car, wherever you are today. This is the potential gateway for you to have a global business that you benefit from, that you don't have to come up with the product. You don't have to worry about the logistics of shipping the product. You don't have to worry about how to set up the banking systems and the banking infrastructure. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is engage your mouth and tell people about this and connect them to some information. And you watch the distribution that emanates out from your involvement begin to spread around the world. The residual income, that's what this develops. Residual income. I love this quote, if you really understood residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it. Now, what's residual income? Well, it's the kind of income that comes over and over again. Most people work a job and then they get paid for the work that they did that week or that month or that day or that period of time. So they're trading time for money. Nothing wrong with that, but it just has its limitations. Because once you do the work and you get paid for doing that work, you're not going to get paid for doing that work again. It's a one-time deal. It's a one-time trade. Residual income is a concept that once you do the work, let's say maybe you write a book or you record a song, maybe you have rental property or other financial investments where you've put out the effort, the work, or the financial commitment one time, but then you continue to get paid off of that over and over and over again as the book sells, as the song plays, as people rent the property or whatever. That's called residual income. It's a powerful concept. So let me just give you an example here. This is in US dollars, but let's say you wanted to have in this case, $5,000 a month in residual income. If you were going to have to get that, if you were going to put the money in the bank and have the bank pay you interest to use your money, you would have to, in order, if you could get 5% interest, which you probably can't get right now, but if you could get 5% interest, you would have to invest $1.2 million in the bank to get a $5,000 a month residual payment, interest payment. Or you could become a gold executive in Asea, which the average is about $5,000 a month. Yeah, which is easier? I can tell you which one is easier from my perspective. Here's the great thing. We've got a consumable product, okay? Consumable product that you use it and you use it up and you open another bottle and use that bottle up. I've got Renew 28 or someplace, the gel. You use it up and you get, you're gonna use it up. You're gonna use it every day. I love the illustration that I heard when I was in the Philippines recently. Well, recently back in March, when all of this hit, I was in the Philippines. Was kind of concerned I might not get home, but not really, because if I got stuck in the Philippines, that wouldn't have been too bad. But everybody watching this presentation today, you have some sort of monthly subscription to a Wi-Fi service. That's what helps you connect. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be watching this presentation. And you pay that every month because of the benefit that you get. You get to connect with people, and you get to, you get to hear music. You get to organize your calendar. You get to arrange your life. You get to schedule things. You get to talk to your friends, your family, and communicate at a level that, we couldn't do years ago. I remember the first time I was in the Philippines in 1992, one of my friends I was traveling with, we had to leave the US, and his infant son that had just been born a few days prior became very ill. And so there we were in the Philippines, and his infant son back in the United States is very sick. He's very concerned. In order to get an update and to communicate with his wife, we would have to go to the hotel, the Manila hotel, and arrange for them to place a phone call, which was very expensive at a certain time. And we would go in there and they would place the phone call, hand him the phone. He could talk to his wife for a few minutes, and it cost several dollars per minute to talk. That's what communication was like in 1992, almost 30 years ago. So communications changed, obviously, thank God. But you pay your bill every month to your Wi-Fi service, whatever it is, because you like the benefit that you get from that. What happens if you stop paying it? Okay, you just stop getting the benefit. You have you're not connected anymore. There's no more communication. So you'll keep paying it because of the benefits that you've now learned to depend on. This is Wi-Fi for your cells. It's like Wi-Fi in your body. It takes the signal that your cells are trying to send out, maybe because of stress or disease or age or whatever. Maybe you've only got 1 bar of signal. This boosts your signal in your body to 4 bars. Full service, full spectrum. And so why will you keep paying it? Why will you keep buying this? Because of the ongoing benefit. This is Wi-Fi for yourselves. What that translates into is an income machine that just continues because people use it and they buy it again, they buy it again, they buy it again. That's residual income. Now, the difference here is that not just residual income, but people who tell other people about it do the same thing. They subscribe to Wi-Fi for yourselves. And so it becomes what we call reproductive residual income. Very few income instruments have the chance to reproduce themselves. If you own an oil well, it's not going to drill another oil well. If you write a book, the book's not going to write another book. You've got to do the work over again. We're here. This is reproductive residual income. It's a powerful, powerful concept. So again, we've got 3 huge industries that we feel like we're hitting dead on. We've got the wellness industry, we've got the athletic industry, and we've got the skincare industry. We capitalize on all 3 of those. It's an amazing focus, bullseye focus on these 3 massive industries. Again, nobody else has this. Almost nobody knows about it, especially true in the Philippines. We've had 10 years here in the US, but still most people here, I could walk down the street outside my condo here and ask 100 people, hey, how many of you have ever heard of Asea or even heard of redox signaling molecules? I would be lucky. out of 100 people to maybe find 2 or 3 who'd heard of it, let alone in the Philippines where we've been there, but just less than 2 years. So this is an amazing positioning right now. It's once in history timing. The direct selling news talks, they identify the top 100 companies in our industry. I love this graph here. I'm going to kind of show you where we feel we are right now in terms of timing. Timing's a big deal. Being positioned in the right place at the right time is an important ingredient to success, as long as you recognize you're there when you're there. Everybody can look back and say, you know, I guess I was in the right place at the right time. I just didn't realize it. I should have taken that opportunity. I should have bought that stock or that piece of property or sold it or something. And so if you look at right now, this graph shows the various phases that new technology goes through. It goes through an introduction phase or an innovation where it's a brand new, it's innovative, and then an introduction phase, and then it becomes known, and it begins to go through a growth phase. And then over a period of years, it kind of levels out and becomes a mature product, or it has a mature place in the marketplace. We feel like we're still maybe at the tail end of the introduction phase here, especially true in the Philippines. Maybe the early stages of that growth. We've seen our growth. In fact, that's what the direct selling news can track. We hit the top 100 out of thousands of companies that market products or services this way. We hit the top 100, I think, about 4 years ago. In 2018, we were number 77. In 2019, we were number 44. I can assure you, when the numbers all come in for 2020, we will be higher than we were last year. And so this is it's just great timing. We're no longer a startup company. There's a lot. I passed on this. I heard about Asea about this time, maybe a little bit later. It was December, I believe, in 2009. 2009. Company was brand new. I heard about it. I got a phone call about it. And I pushed it off because I thought, based on my experience in the industry, now 30 some years, I knew that most new companies don't last. Most new companies don't have their second birthday. I knew that. So I wasn't going to spend a lot of time or energy on a company that I doubted that they would still be around. I respected my friends who called me, good people, great friends, but I just thought, you know, it's a new company. And so I kind of stood back and I watched this company from a distance for almost 5 years. And I finally realized this company's still around. They obviously have a great product. My friends were doing well in the business. So I didn't engage until this company was almost 5 years old. And now I've been involved for 6 years, but we're past that time today. You don't have to stand back. We're no longer in risk mode. We're in our 10th year. We're solid. I've given you some of those stats. So we feel like we're in the early stages of momentum, but we're no longer in the risk phase. That is the sweet spot of timing. The sweet spot of timing. So the only question today goes back to that question I asked you at the beginning. What are you looking for? And the second question here for you is, are you ready? This may not be for you, and that's fine. Thank you. If you've listened, if you're still listening to this point, great. Thank you. We appreciate your attentiveness. But you may know somebody that's perhaps more interested in this kind of a thing than you are. Be the connector. Do them a favor. You may know people out there that are literally praying for some financial answers. They're praying for an opportunity. They just don't know this exists. Be the connector. Connect them to somebody who's connected to you. You could, and you know, by being the connector, you're gonna benefit if you want to. You don't have to, but at least it might be a source of blessing to them. And think about them enough to be able to do that. So I'm going to toss this back to Abby, to Romar, or whoever, and talk to you about what it takes to become an associate in the Philippines. Before I do that, I want to just make sure we put something in the chat here for you. Let me stop the share, and I want to type something in the chat because there's a really, really unique opportunity coming up this week, starting on the 11th, actually the 12th for you. Eric Worre is one of the great trainers in our industry. One of the great trainers, probably without a doubt today represents the greatest training platform for all network marketers, not Asea specifically, but he certainly knows about ASEA. He's great friends with, I've met him, and he's great friends with Denny Robinson. Last night he was on our call to the Australia team. Maybe some of you saw that, but they have an event every year called the GoPro Recruiting Mastery Event. Obviously this year, and it's in December, this year it has to be a virtual event. More about that later. But this coming week, he's conducting a 7-day recruiting challenge. The recruiting challenge. It's free. Yeah, when you register for it, there'll be an opportunity there to get some great deal out of the programs, but you don't have to. It's completely free. But for 7 days, it's going to be a focus on recruiting, which is the lifeblood of the business. Recruiting. Yeah, training has its place and all of that. You don't have to become a scientist, thankfully, or a medical person in our business. Thankful for those that we have. But recruiting is obviously the focus, the focal point. And so this 7 days is going to focus on how to just add people to your team. And so let me type it in the chat here, because I want to make sure that all of you get a chance to do it. So let me make sure HTTP. It's called the GoPro Recruiting Challenge.com, and then / ASEA United, which is kind of our group. Let me just make sure I typed it right. GoPro Recruiting Challenge.com / ASEA United. Okay, that's the link. And I'm going to recommend all of you, if you have any aspirations at all about the business side of this, register for this event. Hats off to many of you. Virgie and Joel, I know you're on. You've got many on your team that have already registered for this. This is going to change your business, because the focus here is going to be on recruitment, which is, again, the lifeblood. Every organization made up of people has to focus on recruitment in order to stay alive. Think about it. The military, colleges, no matter how old the college is, service club, Rotary Club, Kiwanis Club, all those kind of organizations, your church. If you're not constantly focused on bringing in new people, eventually the organization will stagnate and die. And your business is going to flourish based on learning how to recruit, bring people on to be a part of your team. So when you register for this, you're going to get a chance to get on a Facebook page that's specifically dedicated to this endeavor. Yeah, it's going to be live at a time that's not real convenient for the Philippines. It's going to be live at 2:00 in the afternoon Eastern time for here, which is 3:00 in the morning for you. But the benefit of this is every session is going to be recorded, and you'll have 24 hours to play the recording. So if you'll get registered, you can get together with your group or individually, and you can play that at a time that's convenient for you, individually or as a group, because you'll have access to that for 24 hours. So for 7 days, this is going to be the focus, the recruiting challenge. So I'm recommending to you today to get registered for it and just and get prepared for a 7-day period of tremendous boost to your business and building your team. So with that, thank you very much for the chance to be with you this morning. I appreciate so much my Saturday morning sessions with my Filipino family. Appreciate all of you so much. And Romer, I'll pass it back to you, and wish you all a good evening and a great week. And I'll see you on the Eric Worre stuff this next week. God bless.
All right. Thank you very much, Uncle Ed, for that insightful summary of what it means to do this amazing business. It's really amazing. So again, let me just emphasize kung ano po yung sinabi ni Uncle Ed kanina about the GoPro Recruiting Challenge. So this is made free. Now, originally, last year, this was a paid event. And I think this is done yearly, if I'm not mistaken. It's a paid event. It's a premium event. And this is the only time that we're getting it for free. So if you're that person, if you're that person that you think you can make this into a business, then as much as possible, register for it. It's going to be very insightful. It's going to be very useful. But if you're that person who just, wants to test the waters for now, because kasi, di ba, Asea, it's something new for everyone. So you want to check it out first as a product. You want to be a consumer, then by all means do so. Whoever invited you to this call, reach out to them so that you can get more information about this. Because again, katulad nga po ng nasabi na natin kanina, now this information is going to be stagnant if you're not going to do anything about it. So if you use this information to use it for your own good, that's great. If you use it to help others, that's even better. Now, it's now or never. It's going to be an opportune time for everyone. And the great thing about this is that, narinig na nga po ninyo kanina, both the product and the business, everything is done with a clean conscience. Everything is done conscientiously. So I urge every one of you who is in the Zoom call, and also everyone who's listening or watching via Facebook Live, make that action today. And we're very excited to have you on board. Thank you very much, and you enjoy the rest of your day.